How's it going, ladies and Bruce's up? I'm Sixkilla and welcome back to Birth Me Code. Now we left it in a puzzle here at the end of the last episode with a whole new path through the game. So we're just getting up to the second area again. Be interesting to see what that is going to entail this time, but think about it from a meta perspective. You can make all the M's into an E for me. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense, but I've got nothing else to give. The doors unlocked when Ankura finished solving the puzzle. Giving one of them a light push, she confirmed they could be opened and left their immediate area to head back to the 6 other survivors. That literally took me like half an hour. The entire process had taken a few minutes, yet when she rejoined them, it didn't take long for her to understand the discussion about how to handle the teams still wasn't over. First of all, we should make the teams. Then we can decide what we do with her. Okay, that's fair, I suppose. How do we divide, though? You and Bea are adamant about going together, but won't there be unbalance? It would be. We all need to have a team that has someone good at solving those rooms, which would be Viddy and me. Ula can't be that bad either if they escaped their room too. Unless the one who was good was in fact the one who died, which then begs the question why they died at all. Though Gula's been unresponsive for a while now anyway. We're going in a circle. You want me and Bea to split? That's fine, I guess. Superbia didn't like that, and she glared at the two that were trying to split her up from Era. Ankura chimed in before the situation deteriorated further. I opened the doors. The puzzle, that is. It's solved now. Ah, you're back. I noticed you'd left a little earlier. There was a definite change in Nvidia's tone towards her. Not sure how much I can count on him as an ally anymore. Maybe it's best to be wary. Yes, well, I thought it would be a good idea to do that while you all talked. It's not like you had given me a chance to explain myself. Or that you'd be willing to believe me without thinking I'm weird. Nvidia scratched the back of his head a little bit as if he was embarrassed about his behaviour towards her. Just said he didn't put so much veil over his own beliefs. That's true. But still, solving the puzzle was good. See? She's still good. She's not gone mental. She can come with one of our teams. Heh, whatever. What are the teams like in your head? Oh great horse man. Maybe something like... First team would be Viddy and Ula, second would be myself and Bea, and the third would be you, Ava, and Cora. I think I'm in a group with you? Yes. What if I think so? What if we do have to balance ourselves out this way, so we actually all live? As if most of your common survival really matters. I know you don't give a shit about anyone else, Bea, but if we die, you die too. We keep repeating that too. Will you get it already? He didn't sound too pleased with her, but she just shrugged nonchalantly, as if it had truly had nothing to do with her. Fine then. You're right. Happy now? No, not really. I won't be happy until all this is over. Have we decided yet then? I don't really have a preference one way or the other. As far as I'm concerned, I feel more like an observer than a real participant right now. Ah, right, sorry. I didn't really consult you when thinking those teams over. She dismissively waved in the air. No, it's fine. Like I said, I don't have a preference. We should get a move on. Remember, our time is ticking down, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. My time's not going to stop at all. It will if we don't hurry. We're close to 10 past the hour. Let's go. The group was, for the major part, in agreement. Gula had remained almost completely silent since Luxuria had died. After a second or so, she decided to join them again, still mute to all attempts at conversation on the way. Well, a conversation with her does require a lot of syllables. It was like she didn't really know what she was going to do anymore. As they set off toward the new set of doors, Ankura... Oh, who do we want to talk to? Walk with Gula, I guess? Despite her best efforts, the cowgirl remained completely mute. Ankura chose to walk in silence with her regardless. The others were all too content to let the two of them follow along without raising their voices. Still, despite the lack of communication, Ankura felt a bit of a kinship with her. They say that ostracized people sometimes end up forming their own groups. Like the kids who get bullied at school end up becoming friends. Now Gula didn't get ostracized in the same way, because his silence is completely voluntary, but it's still similar, I think. The silence wasn't allowed to continue for much further though. So how was the puzzle? Ankura didn't realize she was being addressed until Avarisha spoke up again. Hey, anyone home? She snapped her fingers, which brought Ankura back to reality. Truth be told, she had been deep in thought too, much like Gula. Oh, sorry, I was thinking about things. The puzzle wasn't too bad, I guess. It only took me a few minutes. That's a lie, it took forever. This kind of puzzle was nothing for someone like me. Maybe I could have done it even faster. Good to know then. You have a good chance of making it out of our room after all this. Hey, what does that mean? Do you also think I'm loopy? Can't deny that having visions doesn't make you look too sane. The group arrived at a small intersection in the hall. There was a tiny part leading further in, toward two doors much like the ones they'd gone through a moment ago, and a longer hallway gave way to a bend. This is where we split up, I think. There's a door ahead that can be opened for a classroom that most likely contains some me cards. Bia and I should head over there. Nobody made you the leader. If anything, that was my idea too. The earlier I'm in there, the earlier I can leave it. They should not go together. Deciding not to futilely argue against the rabbit, the horse waved at the rest of the group before trudging off toward the door. Superbia followed him without so much as the same courtesy. Faced with that, Ankura turned to Invidia and the others. Ankura looked over at the group and she noticed Ira was a little distraught by this. He was holding his arms and looking out of place. It's probably due to Superbia's departure. Before she could talk to him, Invidia grabbed his shoulder. Hey, you okay? We have to keep moving. Be thankful the others are allowing you to come with them still. Oh, yeah, sorry. Let's go. Ira's not taking the separation from Superbia too well, huh? What's he even seeing in her anyway? So far he's been the one to cling to another person the most, except for Gula. She's still mute from Luxuria's death. The group was left to its own volition following all that. I guess Ulla and I will take the next one then. Gula nodded her head in acknowledgement. Gee, this room is going to be fun. I can just tell. Sarcasm in his tone wasn't lost on Ankura. She wished she could say something to lighten up the mood, but everything she thought up didn't seem good enough. In the end, she remained silent, just like Gula. The larger group walked further down the hall. About midway, there were two doors that lead to different classrooms. True to his word, Invidia pulled Gula over into the first of them, leaving the second to Ira, Ankura, and Avarisha. Can't say I'm a fan of locking myself up in one of those death cages again, but oh, stop complaining and go. Besides, you get to be with a cute girl and a mature woman. Yeah, those are probably the most dangerous things in there. True. Avarisha discarded his peak and lazily walked into the classroom after opening the door. Ira followed her after shrugging at the remaining girl, who also followed after him. I'm glad we managed to reach an outcome without tearing each other's heads off, for once. Ooh, the girl mumbled to herself, taking in the sight of what was inside the room. It was not actually a classroom. It was like the lobby of a large manor. The room was tall and it seemed like there was a second floor above. This place is really big. What does it mean to represent? And why is this in the school? I don't know. I think I know this place, but my head hurts when I think about it too much. I think that just happens when you think at all. Are we supposed to take the balcony too? Will we walk through here up there? After giving it a moment of consideration and trying to move closer to have a better look at it, Ankura realized there was no going up there. There was a ceiling. It only appeared as though you could get to the second floor. I see, so it's not really like a second floor. It's an optical illusion. The ceiling is painted as if there was a second floor, but it doesn't really have one. That's kind of fucked up. The 39 seconds leading to Mi's announcement elapsed, and the door locked to trap the three of them inside of this lobby. Mi appeared upon their helmets, true to her word. Isn't this place just grand? It's really expensive to get a house that looks like this. I wouldn't know. Not only is it expensive, but it's pretty much impossible, unless you have more money than sense. But we're not here to figure that out. That has nothing to do with your immediate situation. What you're going to figure out here is a murder. Yes, I'm sure you've all found that newspaper article that talked about it before. That is not exactly relevant right now, but there is a murderer in your group. Your task is to figure out who it is, and then tell me. I'm sure you can understand there is only one murderer too. That's correct, none of the others have committed the crime of murder as of your incarceration, so please take that to heart and work together. Then again, in this kill me game, you're all criminals, so who knows how much you can trust anybody still. Oh right, for the answer, I'm not looking for a name. Instead, you'll be working to tell me which personality did the murder. If you aren't familiar with it, you'll find something that will help you delineate all of that in this duo of rooms. I'll see you later. Alright, here we go. Once again, the vision of me disappeared, and light returned to their eyes, filtered through the cameras of the masks they wore. None of them seemed too pleased about the news that a killer was on the loose. There's a motherfucking killer on the loose. 39 minutes countdown, huh? We're doing this again. Yes, we'd better get searching. Even if I feel like this place is comfortable enough to take a nap inside. Take it once we're all done and we left this horrible school. I'd personally like to get out as soon as possible, now that it's confirmed one of us 9 is a murderer. This room shouldn't be too bad either. The Enneagram of personality reduces the amount of possibilities to 9, so working with that... Alright, not going to think about it too much. It's best left to the search. There's the Enneagram somewhere in there. So long as one finds it, they'll have a solid hold on the mystery. Alright, here we go. Right, let's get searching. What do we got? Start with the coffee table. It's a beautiful coffee table. It's a nice low table. It is. A couch. I love couches. They're very comfortable. You said that last room we were in. Why have I been in with her in every room? And why do you like couches so much, you weirdo? Let's see if this one measures up on the one I have at home. Oh, being nicely seated is just about the best thing in life. She rapidly rubs her hands together to the horror of Ankura, who watches the older woman desecrated that piece of furniture by thoroughly using it in its intended way. It's not actually that great. I guess it's better if you're not stressed out. I'd still give it an 8 though. That's pretty good. Out of 10? Yes. I mean, it's pretty good, but she adjusted herself into the seat before lying on her side. Maybe an 8.5? Then why not have a scale on 20 instead so you can give it 17? Are you ridiculous? Scales go from 0 to 10, or 0 to 100. Why'd they make it 11? Or 101 possible scores rather than a flat 10 or 100 anyway? Why isn't it 1 to 10, or 1 to 100? I'm not the one who makes the rules. She nonchalantly shrugged. I'm more interested in seeing if there's anything around the sofa itself, rather than its comfort level, to be honest. While Avaricia looked outraged that Ankura would dare suggest that the girl knelt down, looking under the couch. I think if I extend my hand... Ankura grabbed a part of the couch and pulled herself right against the underside. She could see better. Something was written there. I need some light to see this. Guess I'll have to look at this again later. You could have helped a little, you know. The couch is far too comfortable for me to get down to the ground too. I mean, it's still at the level of 8.5. Ankura stood back up, crossing her arms at Avaricia, who shrugged back at her. Lazy bum. No matter how much Ankura pulled on the cord, the lamp remained turned off. It's broken or something. In fact, all the lamps like this are broken here. I wonder why. To be annoying. This is giving off a lot of heat. Is that so? Doesn't look that hot to me. He reached toward the fire, but the teacher grabbed his arm. Hey, don't burn yourself. We need a way to extinguish the fire if we're going to look in there first. Which isn't necessarily water either. You need to asphyxiate the fire to extinguish it. It wasn't that hot. And besides, look, I got this. He taken out a small object from the fireplace, which was a greyish key. It's a silver key. Where there's a silver key, there must be a silver lock. It looks more like steel to me. But yeah, a key. That's good, right? Yeah, it's good. Unlike the other painting, this one can be moved. She pulled onto the sides to lift it slightly, curiously spying behind it. There was nothing but a wall, yet Behind the painting itself were some words haphazardly scribbled across the surface. There are some directives there. 3. For helper. That goes where there's a free space. Simple enough. Why does it say 3 though? Is it the order to put in the directives or something? I don't think so. It sounds like the very final step to do since it mentions free space. Agreed. This painting has nothing inside of it, outside of it, or behind it. I can't even move it. Let me try. But nothing interesting happened. Ancora walked up the stairs. Ira followed, but as they both found out, the staircase didn't lead anywhere in particular. This place is a bit familiar. I can't put my finger on it. He smashed his fist into his palm, looking rather angry about that fact. It'll come back in due time, but in which way is it familiar? I think I've been here before. A large, ornate mansion. Rich place. Were you working there as a guard or something? Is it Superbia's house? Don't be silly. I'm too young to have a job yet. Gil looked him up and down a little. Young? He's built like a brick wall. Why are you examining me like that? It's true. He became irate again at the idea. Averting her gaze, Ancora continued investigating the area in silence, but nothing came of the staircase itself. Okay. This area looks really weird. It's like a very lustrate sort of place, white and gold and all. Look at this pillar. There's some stuff written on the back. It says 4. Individualist is next to achiever. That sounds like a good finding. Let's remember that. You have a pen and paper? Yes. I don't think there's any of that here. But it's okay, I have a good memory. Don't worry. Reassured, Ancora left the pillar alone. I have a pen and paper right here. Nothing special about this pillar. This place is extremely rich. This is the kind of thing you'd find in some fantasy holy place or something. I wonder what kind of person could afford this place. I mean, this isn't the real place it's referencing, of course. This is just a replica. Right. A bunch of boxes. It'll take a while to search them all. But there's something behind them. Yes. She reached down to take it and showed off to Avaricia, confident it could still be used. It's a flashlight. Might be helpful if we somehow need something illuminated. We do. She snagged it from Ancora, who held her hips in annoyance. I'll just put it with the rest of the stuff. You can take your time searching the crates if you want. You just want to get away so you don't have to search with us. Just stick around a bit. It won't take too long if we're all 3. Avaricia admitted defeat. The lazy teacher settled down with the 2 others, opening boxes and looking through their contents. There wasn't much, a lot of foam mainly. Some of them had a few items, but nothing worthy of note. Eventually Ancora pulled out some kind of book. Okay. The book has the Enneagram onto it. But all the spots aren't named. There are the numbers for each of the spots though. I remember this. Observer is at number 5. I know that much. Oh crap, do I need to write this down? There's 9 spots. Oh, I'm not good at this. We can probably start things off with that. And the book itself, it doesn't open, it's a fake. We found something, but it's not real. Maybe it's not real, but there's a phrase on the back anyway. It says, find me where the beginning of all 6 tell you. Very important stuff. She snagged it again from Ancora, who saw it coming this time and said she pulled back to avoid the older woman's hand. Let's go put our stuff together instead. Nothing special about this pillar. Okay, that again. The frickin' throne? I'm strong enough to push even this. He helped lift the large, imposing, and very heavy throne up, exposing the plates under it. At first it had just been an exercise in showing off his strength, but a few words were written underneath it. Hey, you're a genius. 5. Reformer starts the ball. I'm a genius? I mean, yeah, of course I am. I knew it all along. After Ancora was done reading it, Ira let go of the throne, which slammed back onto the ground in its rightful place. Oh, this one. I didn't see this one. Don't desecrate the holy tomb. This isn't a holy tomb, and besides, this cloth is hiding something underneath it. She swiped it, looking upon the naked altar, or at least It's what she expected. The piece of cloth hid another underneath it. There was a strange retractable pole between the two layers, though. That might come in handy, to get a longer reach. It doesn't have a hand, but it might come in handy anyway. Is that another pun? The girl didn't reply. Instead, getting a hold of the pole to free up the altar, she was about to replace the cloth when she realized there was more to it. Some words are written across this thing. It tells us a number and some directives. 1. Up next to loyalist is enthusiast, related to reformer. That sounds like one of those personality type things. Yeah, probably. We'll keep the cloth then. But the holy tome. It's not a holy tome. It's just white everywhere and has nothing to do with the tome. Alright, let's go back. Now we can look under the couch. Oh yeah, I can finally use that light to see what's written there. She crouched again, illuminating the underside of the couch. The words there say 6. Enthusiast and challenger are related to observer. She gave a glance at Ira, who stood nearby. You're strong. You could have helped me move the couch up and over. I can move the couch away, but I can't lift it. I don't know why. Maybe it's magnetized to the ground. And Kura shook her head, disappointed. Let's talk to Avaricia. She's most likely to know anything. About the personality. Me spoke about a personality. What do you think she means? She also mentioned something about finding a thing that will help us determine that. Honestly, I'm not sure what she's referring to, but I can take a guess. Early on, when I studied psychology, we had this thing called the Enneagram of personality, which said that people can be categorized into 9 main types of personalities. That's utter bullshit, by the way. That's because we're more complex than just one personality trait. It's believed we have a main type and 2 related types. When you're feeling fulfilled, and when you're feeling stressed. You tend to switch to another personality to try and make it back to your comfort zone, or something like that. That course wasn't too important, so I forgot the gist of it. So do you remember the anagram? Enneagram. And no, I don't. I only remember that in the list there's something called the observer personality, which is also investigator, and it's represented by the number 5. Okay, there we go. So 5 is observer. That's a good start. She took a small pause, thinking about what she was saying, and Kura was about to call for her again when she resumed her speech. I only remember because I think I might fit into that one. Do you think we all fit into those personalities? We were supposed to be 9. No, I don't think so. I mean, probably. There's an intent behind showing this to us, but well, we're meant to be classified. Like I said, we're more complex than that. Not even as a template? And Kura insisted. She was fairly pumped about the subject, not willing to let go of a lead that they happen to have. Being interested is a good way to catch someone's attention. It's all about leading them into the right path. Maybe as a template, but I forgot what the personalities were anyway, so we better get going in order to find that in here, if it's in this room. We should probably keep searching. Let's get back to the search. Alright, so we've got observer then. Oh, we need to put this out. Still no sign of any water to stop this fire. If only we had a fireman here, a tall American blonde fireman who could break this place open and rescue us. You'd probably get here too late. Doesn't feel like there's anything else here anyway either. Oh, what's this? The silver key we found looks like it fits in here. It looks more like a steel key than a silver key to me. Regardless of what the key really was made out of, it fit into the lock. Opening the object dropped a rolled piece of paper onto the ground. Unfortunately, due to its placement, it fell behind the couch. Of course it did. Damn, we'll have to get it. I'm on it. She moved the couch ever so slightly and reached for it with her arm. But it was then that Ira came by. He suddenly pulled the couch over, moving entirely out of the way for her. She grabbed the piece of paper and Ira replaced the couch, where it had been. I was being careful because couches are precious things that mustn't be harmed at all costs. But I suppose this works too. What does your obsession with couches mean? There are better ways to be grateful for help, I'd say. You get to see what we found. On this paper is written 2. Peacemaker, Achiever, and Loyalist form a perfect triangle. Well, the only perfect triangle is 693. Right? And we already worked out that Loyalist can be 6 or 9. So peacemaker can be 6, 9 or 3. Achiever. But we have more information. Jesus, nearly dropped my pen. What the heck are those? If I had to guess, they're personality types. Let's store this in our... Yeah. Avarisha held on to it for a while longer, trying to remember all the personality types, but it became obvious she couldn't. She eventually relinquished the paper to the rest of their findings. Is that enough information? Work on the book's riddle. Here we go. Oh, remember that book? If you take all the first letters of the hints and put them in order, you get upfire. I think we have to look in the chimney to find whatever that is. We just find Santa Claus up there. It's not Christmas yet. And even if it was, Santa Claus doesn't go down chimneys where there's smoke. Speaking of which, where's that smoke going? Maybe it's staying in the room and we're slowly dying. But there's probably some kind of buffer room for where it gets filtered. It's called ventilation. Anyway, I think someone could extinguish the fire using a large piece of cloth. It might go better than water since, well, there's no water here. Oh, we do have a piece of cloth. Alright, let's try that. The cloth we found can be used to stop the fire. Just do it like this. She did a few motions with it, and after closing it onto the flames, they died out. Thankfully, it didn't damage the cloth at all, and the words on it were still legible. And now we can look inside. He arched his back and peeked up the dirty chimney. As he came back to them, the two girls could easily see, even without directly witnessing his face, that he was disappointed. There's something, but it's really high, and I can't reach it. You'd need like a billiard pole or something to get it down. That's one difficult item to get to, huh? Too bad it's also practically necessary. We have a pole. Good thing we actually found that. Alright, I'll use the pole now. And Kura took out the retractable pole she had on her and expanded it while looking up the chimney. The girl coughed a little. Even the helmet didn't stop all the leftover dust, ashes and smoke there still was. Ira took that better earlier. Finally the item dropped. She quickly pulled herself out of the chimney to dodge it. Ash and dust was kicked up from the object's landing, causing everyone to back away a little. Save the couch! Don't let it get tainted by the ashes! Thankfully, the ashes never got to it. The group grabbed the item. It was a small chest, which had been held in suspension. It didn't have a lock, so Era opened it with glee, uncaring that his hands dirtied themselves with soot. There's a fucking gun! That's where the gun came from. He immediately grabbed it. The girls stood back, watching him carefully as he also pulled out a few bullets from the chest. He put them in the open chamber of the gun, closing it and aiming it at the painting in the back. It's so cool. I've never held a gun in my life. I mean, I don't actually like violence, but this is still cool. Guns are cool. Yes, that's fine, but do you mind not waving that thing around? It's okay, the safety's still on. However that works. Was there anything else in the box? Oh, right, there's also a key. Pulled out a key which had teeth in the shape of the letter I, while stuffing the gun away for the time being. Goes right with the others we found like that, huh? He also pulled out one of those magnetic keycards, and then another one. He pocketed one of the me cards while Ankura took the other, and Avaritia snagged the strange key. See? No danger. We're all splitting it equally. You didn't split the gun, though. I'm just gonna keep that one. I hope you don't mind. If you do, well, that's too bad. The two girls watched him for a moment before they decided he wasn't really a threat. For now, at least. They still needed to leave the room, and that included him too. There's also a piece of paper in there. Yes. I bet there are instructions for the solution. It says, between challenger and individualist. Another riddle? Well, that's who we're looking for, between challenger and individualist. Damn. I think we have all we need to escape though, so how about meeting back here at the fireplace when we're ready to go? Let's not take too long, the timer's going down. I agree. I agree too, maybe it'd be good to have just one more cursory look first, but not too much. Alright, we can work this out now, I think. Let me just have a look at what we've got. Okay, so I've got some stuff written down. I'll bring you back, because this is going to take a little bit of time, I imagine. Alright, let's see what happens. Are we all ready? No. Sure, but do you know the answer? I think I do. It's not that complicated. Using the 6 riddles together, you have to determine where each personality type is on the Enneagram. What will stop someone from guessing which one it is and eventually get it right? Well, first of all, we need to have up to 9 tries for that, and we're only 3. Not to mention anyone who get it wrong would die. I see, that makes sense. Blindly guessing would just lead to our deaths, even if there's a small selection of what it could be. They better be thankful that I have the solution for them. Interestingly enough, neither Avaritia nor Era really cared about the weird episode from earlier, or at least they didn't bring it up. Maybe they have more trust now. Whatever the case is, I have no reason to delay this. Era was staying away from the door, not really knowing what the answer was, and Cora and Avaritia were basically carrying him through the room, though he was the one who got the revolver. That fact did make Ancora a little upset. Anyway, are we all ready? You already asked this. If you're sure what the answer is, then I won't stop you. Alright, let me out. The answer is... Helper. Helper. With a sound click, the door unlocked. Alright, good. Let's get out of here now. After you. No, I insist. I don't want anybody in my back. No one's taking the gun from me or stabbing me in the back. Seeing that he took the gun out, Ancora and Avaritia begrudgingly obeyed, walking out of the door first. They didn't really have a choice anyway. Even without the gun, Era would still be stronger than both of them combined. Yeah, I don't know why he needs the gun. He's a big, swole, buff man. And now we're back out. Without masking her uneasiness at doing what Era demanded of her, just because he was the one who grabbed the revolver, Ancora left the room first, immediately noting that the door next to theirs was still closed. With the window obstructed by that metal plate, she couldn't see inside to make sure everyone made it out. As the hallway were completely silent, other than for her and Avaritia following her, she figured no one else had solved their room yet. Look, I'm not gonna do anything bad, okay? It's just like I said. I don't want any of you to fucking kill me like that. There was some truth to his words. The more Ancora watched him carry the gun, the more she realized he really didn't know how to use it, which would only be helpful to her. It wouldn't be too hard to try and get it from him. But let's not forget, he's also pretty built. He can defend himself even without the gun. For now, Ancora decided not to think about a violent outcome and instead focused her thoughts on what they learned in the room. Someone in the group was a real threat, and it wasn't Era. It would be best to get the others to follow the same train of thought, but how do we guide them there? So helper was the answer, huh? Do either of you know who that refers to? Avaritia calmly shrugged, not even deigning to open her mouth to say a single word. However, Era had a much more irate reaction. Just don't question it, okay? It's not me, but whoever it is, if they learn we know, you can bet we're gonna meet the bearded guy in the sky soon after. He pointed upward as he spoke. There isn't any way they'd let us go after that. Not really smart, but even I can understand it's dangerous. So keep shut if you know what's good for you. Which means it's best to bring it up during the next vote. That will help solve this issue. However, maybe I should make sure I'm right on who it is first, with another session of hacking. Maybe now's not the best time, but soon enough. All of those thoughts were interrupted when the door next to them unlocked, and video emerged on the scene of Era brandishing a revolver and looking threatening, which gave him pause. This had for effect to stop Gula dead in her tracks, but not before she bumped into Nvidia, causing him to fall forward to the ground. Ouch! Hey, please watch it next time. Oh, my apologies. It was not under my assumption you would be ceasing all movements this readily. Now that she was out and she could see it, Gula cautiously watched the gun hanging from the lion's hand. I'm not gonna shoot anybody. Stop making a fuss over it. Nvidia was still in the process of standing up. No one gave him a hand, so Ancora stepped forward to help him. He shook his head in protest. I'll be fine, it's okay. I was just bumped by not just a single body, but the entire gravitational force of 2 celestial bodies. Hey, that is completely uncalled for. A virtual gaze and your uncouth thoughts from my chest this instant. It's hard not to notice them, honestly. Wherever I look, there they are. Or at least, a bit of them are. And this, even if I turned all the way around. Gula clenched her hands in a fist, looking downright aggravated by his jokes. Thankfully for her, the party got in full swing when the third door unlocked in the distance and Tristidia's helmet popped in from around the corner. Oh, you're all... He paused then, noticing the gun. And I'm glad he doesn't have it. Era roared an annoyed growl at the reaction, which was quickly becoming the norm as each of them joined the gathering. Will you guys stop? It's just a gun. I'm not gonna shoot anyone. Nobody's got to be scared of this, okay? What do you mean, just a gun? That kind of thing is highly dangerous. What's the matter now? Somebody's got a gun? The robot girl came in after the horse. She evaluated the situation from Nvidia dusting off his hands now that he was back on his feet, to the group somewhat awkwardly waiting to see how things would go, and finally to Ira, who still had the gun in his hand. Simple then. You just take it apart. Without any traces of fear, she walked towards him. He made a movement to aim with the revolver, but she effortlessly pushed his arm away with her own. Look, do you want everyone to stop getting scared over it or not? I thought I heard something about that just now. Just open the gun. I don't know how to do that, okay? Then let me do it. And Cora could tell that Ira really didn't want to let go of the gun. But after a moment, he absconded from that position and let the rabbit have it. It's really easy. To empty the gun, there are two ways. One is to open it like this, and the other is to shoot everybody. She did exactly what she said she would do, taking out the 6 bullets and closing the gun again. Then she slid the bullets one by one into his shoes. Now nobody will be able to shoot with it. A revolver without bullets is useless, unless you want to clock someone with it. Got it? Simple enough, like I said. She handed the now empty revolver over to Ira, who took it back. He put it in his pocket. Now that the danger of holding it was past, it was like a weight had been lifted off the group. At least until Tristidia panicked. Oh no, we're running late. The hour's coming to a close soon. We've got 10 minutes before the time for the vote is over. Let's just vote then. We've got all this time to do it, and on top of that, we already found 2 me cards in our room. We found 2 me cards too. I guess we all found 2? So that's 6. I don't have a me card. So that means... Ah, damn it! It could have gone smoothly, but we have to search for more again. We already searched this whole place and didn't find any earlier. Led us away towards a second thorough search. Perhaps we've not given it due concern prior. Well, you know where another one is. Perhaps we've not given it due concern prior. Bitch, please, talk normal. I swear you gotta drop this thesaurus. Apologies once more, but I've no thought to expand towards this little salacious Jezebels. You're saying I'm a slut, bitch? Look at you again and say it once more. That is what you precisely are. A highly uncouth one, completely undeserving of my attention, mind you. With your looks, it's no wonder your mind jumps to that. Just by looking at you, I can tell you've had more dongs than the bell of an old church. Girls, can we... I want to laugh. Have we witnessed the singular moment in which your only duet of cephalic cells have formulated a sentence composed of more than the word bitch? I don't give a fuck about what you think my head composes. But if you don't stop bitching at me, your head is going to start decomposing instead. Girls, stop fighting, we've got to... And furthermore, you've had a pain ever since you first arrived with your little friend who was voted out. Of your starting group, you're the last one. I wouldn't tempt fate if I was you, because your group's dropping like flies right now. The time is running out soon. Earth calling to bitch face number 1 and bitch face number 2. But they didn't listen. Even through the boys' attempts at bringing the 2 of them back from their bickering, they simply continued. Pray tell then, incapable rabbit, what do you propose to solve our timely dilemma? Should you continue this line? Will all duly surrender our right to live? This is going to degenerate. Something has to be done, and fast, or else. Before anyone could do anything, least of all Ancora, Superbia grabbed a revolver from Ira's shorts. Whether or not he'd wanted to stop her, he was too surprised to move. With a kick of her shoe, she grabbed a bullet and slammed it into the chamber lightning fast. That's how I'll solve the problem. Say hello to your little bitch in hell for me. The bang that echoed was a telltale of what just transpired. A bullet hole had gone right through Gula's chest. He promptly fell down, hitting her head hard on the wall. You're murderer. You're the one going to hell. The helmet she wore activated, and the resulting explosion kicked up tons of dust and smoke. By the time it dissipated, the body was headless. Yet the wall behind her barely suffered any damage. And this is the second way to empty the gun. I knew you were going to say that. You can thank me later for saving your lives, since we won't need to vote this hour for this hour slice. Superbia threw the now empty gun away and walked off before anyone said anything. Alright, we need to wrap this one up here because we are way out of time. Well, I don't know, because it took me a while to solve that puzzle, but I'm gonna have to cut it down. And we'll bring you back and see what transpires next. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out for me, and I'll see you in the next one.